Welcome in to the Wit and Grit Week 16 preview. Whew. Up and down Week 15, to say the least. We finally lost money since we started measuring, but we barely lost money.
Just a little.
Overall loss of 0.36 units for Week 15. So we pretty much lost you like some fees. Sorry, not even a half unit, but unless you put whole units on our teaser and our parlay, in which case you lost
A little bit more.
A unit more.
Yeah. Some good quick math you did there.
Yeah. So let's go with Elliot. First of all, Elliot is not here. He had a work function that we couldn't get out of, so he's just MIA today. And fitting, because he went on that long winning streak, and then he 0-2 last week, and then doesn't show up. So, just saying, Elliot, this is what it looks like. Looks like you're dodging it. Sean went 1-1, cashed in on the Bengals -5, but the Panthers let him down.
Unfortunately, I went with the big cats, and the one that I should have trusted more, ended up working out. The Panthers had faith. Maybe a little bit of a homer bias got to me there. They had been playing really, really well, though. And then the Cowboys had not. So, I don't know. Hard to stand behind a bet that lost in retrospect, but...
Yeah. The old gambling phrase, the right side's the one that wins.
Yeah.
So, I went 3-0. We only had 2 picks on the graphic. They're both winners, by the way. And I told you guys when we started the podcast, it was easy. Desmond Ridder is not good at football, and he's going to play another game this week. So it might be free money just to bet against him again. I haven't decided yet. But then the Packers getting it's like, what was that number? Like, because Aaron Rodgers is gone, for some reason, everyone just talks about the Packers like they're just going to flip-flop. Like, we'll talk to it when we get there, but Love, LaFleur, like, how about this? We're loving what LaFleur's been doing. There you go.
Yeah, let's get to it.
Welcome to Wit and Grit, where Ian, Sean, and Elliot break down sports betting, pop culture, or whatever's on their minds. The Wit and Grit Podcast.
Before we get started, a quick reminder, this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Sports betting carries financial risks, and it's important to gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, help is available. Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. You must be of legal gambling age in your jurisdiction, which is typically 21 or older. Let's dive in. And before we get to the Week 16 slate, we're excited to announce we're going live this Sunday morning before the games. We'll recap Thursday and Saturday matchups, plus build our group parlays, maybe do a teaser live.
Yeah, definitely. That'll be going on YouTube. You should be able to catch us on Facebook or Twitch as well. We're looking at about 10 a.m. That's where we're going to be talking the action, sharing our thoughts, getting you ready for the Sunday slate.
The Thursday games probably already happened by the time you've heard this, so hopefully go Broncos.
I know that's who you're going for, yeah. This is a big game for the playoff race.
That's going to be, yeah, and we'll just save it for Sunday because, yeah, we'll know more by then.
Exactly.
Texans, Chiefs, a tale of two lines because things have changed. Well, the Chiefs were a dog because Patrick Mahomes looked all hobbled, and he was in pain, and nothing was ever going to go his way again. They were going to be done, and he was going to be missing a game. And, certain news outlets say that like it's such a terrible thing. It was basically like watching coverage of the Titanic, but, nobody died. He's fine. And so now, if you were smart enough to listen to Wit and Grit these past couple weeks this year, we say it. I think this has been mentioned on almost every podcast. You bet the Chiefs as dogs.
Definitely. Yeah. Andy Reid, underdog, free money.
But if you grab the Chiefs as dogs, do you now try to middle? Because the sports books have a 3.5 on the Texans, and that's clearly saying we need money here because everybody took these bets on the risk that Carson Wentz was going out there.
Yeah, and it seems like that's not going to be the case here. So I'm tempted to make this one of my best bets. Honestly, the Chiefs, that is, to cover.
But hold on. It's at 3.5 now. It's minus 3.5.
No, I hear you. I think the Chiefs
outside the rule. We talk about this.
I know they're not underdogs, but I still think they're going to beat the Texans.
You realize for our first live Sunday morning show, you'll be one of the only people that could lose a bet before we go on. You're setting yourself up.
This is Saturday. That's true. Fair.
Yeah. Just saying. If I do anything with this game, we might put the Texans in a teaser. But the thing is, they're putting the 3.5 on the Texans. You're right, because it doesn't mean they think the Chiefs will win. It means they have way too much money on the Chiefs already because they were dogs and they moved up from 1 to 1, 2.5, all the way up to 3.5. It's a huge swing. So, sportsbooks, Simon Hunter from Action Network, I heard him say this earlier today. He said that he had heard from bookmakers that almost every single teaser had like the Chiefs teased up when they were dogs and the Ravens teased down or something like that. It was one of the two, but the most important part is the Texans part. It's like nobody was taking the Texans. Now they're putting the 3.5, hoping to get people. And I'm thinking about it because I don't know. CJ Stroud, let's look at it. Stroud excels against winning teams. 9-5 against the spread. Against any team over 500.
Right.
Including 6-2 against the spread as an underdog, which he now is.
Yep.
It's an away game. Road teams are 61% in regular season Saturday games since 2003. So that's another Texans stat. Kansas City has lost 5 consecutive second half against the spread bets, their worst stretch since 2020. So that means that if the Chiefs aren't leading in halftime, you might be screwed. And you match that with the Texans' first half dominance. Houston is 12-2 first half against the spread, the best in the NFL. But they're actually the worst in the NFL in the second half. So
what do you do with that?
Yeah, I brought it up to say that, I shouldn't suffer alone. We should all know this.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, you've honestly kind of talked me off of betting it to make it a best bet. I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk about it Sunday morning, right?
Yeah, we'll talk about it Sunday morning. But if we could get the Chiefs under 3, I would think about it. But I really like the idea of we'll have to talk about maybe doing a teaser with the Texans by the end of this show, since this will happen before Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of games that could go with it, we could do a Saturday teaser of our own. Hint, hint. Steelers-Ravens. What's the rule, Sean?
Mike Tomlin as an underdog gets bet. We bet him.
Right, but also, anytime these two teams play, which one do you take?
That's right. I forgot this rule. Sorry, I didn't take
the underdog.
Note.
The underdog. You always take the underdog because somehow it always works. Underdogs over the last 20 years in the Steelers-Ravens rivalry are 74% against the spread.
That's crazy.
16, 2, and 1 against the spread since 2015 because the games are always so close. And if you can still get the Steelers at 6.5, can you check that on your phone?
Sure.
Because right before we came on, TJ
Watt, big news.
TJ Watt is going to be playing. So I was going to be off the Steelers if they didn't have TJ Watt. But George Pickens is still out. So it sets up perfectly for a Steelers teaser. Not to mention we should probably just go ahead and blindly bet it. However, I heard another person who gives out bets who's not going to get a free pub on this show right now, but it's more of a nerdy guy, classroom numbers guy, and he was taking the Ravens. He's trying to catch the falling knife and bucking the trend. I feel like if Elliot was here, that's what he would try to do. So I'm trying to uphold
No.
his part of the show by saying that.
Ellie would absolutely stay on the steel train, man. You kidding me?
I
know
don't think
he's
so. He's been burned twice by it now.
He would be on it, especially given these numbers. That 74% is daunting. They are still at plus 6.5. You can get Steelers on the book that I use. I would imagine it's pretty close to that on all the books.
So if I told you we should tease the Texans up 6 points, because we know the Chiefs don't cover big numbers, and then we tease the Steelers up even more, right? I mean, okay. Tomlin versus Harbaugh matchup. Tomlin 13-2-2 against the spread as an underdog. Close game defines us. 16 of the last 19 matchups had a final margin of 7 points or fewer.
Mm-hmm. I'll do a Saturday teaser. I wasn't planning on it, but I'll do that. Yeah.
It just sets up perfectly for both of these things, I think.
Yep.
Like it just lines up.
I'm super here for it. I'm writing it down now.
Okay, so that's probably going to be a unit from me.
Yeah, same. I like that a lot.
Okay. And so is anybody going to bet the steel train straight up? Are you going to take history and take the 74% to cover?
I think I might. Just like I know there's one game coming up that we're going to talk about that I'm definitely taking, but I've been kind of struggling to find another one, and this might be it. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. Let me do it. I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
Yep. All right. I'll take a note. So yeah, my first best bet is Steelers against the spread.
It might be an all bet, but I don't know. The one pick against it with the Ravens. That's why I definitely want to tease it. I feel very comfortable about the teaser, but 74% is so daunting. But like
that's insane.
But if they can stop Russell Wilson, no. I don't even without George Pickens, the Ravens have just been their secondary's been bleeding all year. Like they've been allowing throws. Russell Wilson can moonball. I'm on it with the Steelers. Let's make that an all Sharks pick.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, let's move to Sunday, shall we?
Sure.
Sure.
Why not?
You're like, at the beginning of that game, I didn't know we were on Saturday.
Exactly.
Browns Bengals 7.5 in a year of hooks. Here's another one in a divisional game. What a surprise! Most of the money and most of the bets are on Cincinnati. That's everybody. So
I don't really like this one. Like I personally, I know we're going to talk about it, but from a betting standpoint, I'm staying away.
Joe Burrow struggles against Cleveland 2-5 straight up, compared to a 38-27-1 straight up record against literally every other team. And the Browns are 10-18 against the spread against the AFC North under Kevin Stefanski, the second least profitable head coach versus a division in 20 years. So Joe Burrow's always struggled against Cleveland, but Kevin Stefanski's always struggled against the division.
Right. And then you've got the fact that, Burrow usually dominates opponents that are under 500. I think 16-7 versus teams below 500 straight up. And that's 12-3 against the spread since 22. So this is a spot where he actually typically performs, just not typically against this team. So
do you think it's safe to say, and there's a reason we're bringing up these stats, and I'm glad you brought that one up. It's perfect to reinforce my point of like, is it safe to say this is one of the first times he's playing the Browns as a shit show?
That is interesting.
Deshaun Watson hasn't been good since he got there, but the defense has been dominant for years, and they've been a tough team that's been going to the playoffs due to, frankly, a lack of competition thanks to our favorite teams, which I won't even start. But the Browns have been defaulting. So, and it feels like the Bengals are either on or off, and maybe they look past the Browns, but this is not a year the Bengals are looking past anybody. So,
right.
If you're doing a pick 'em, and if you feel like betting at the Bengals, as of right now, it's not a best bet for me. We'll see how I feel on Sunday. We'll see how this line moves. If a lot of people start backing the Browns, if like this trend of Joe Burrow not beating the Browns comes out, I mean, 2-5 straight up is not terrible. I mean, yeah, it's not a great record, but like,
it's a relatively small sample.
Let's see if we can look it up. Wins. I want to see when the wins are. Are the wins recently? Has he gotten this monkey off his back? Let's see. Yeah. 2-5 against them. The 2 wins are in the last. He won 2 of the last 3.
All right. So turning it around.
So I think the whole beating up on bad teams is a better stat. And Kevin Stefanski being bad in the division, least profitable head coach against the spread.
Mm-hmm.
And man, that's a tough stat as a dog, though, of 7.5. That might be a close game. This is definitely, depending on how many teams we put in our group parlay, write it down. Bengals are definitely, like, we think they're going to win, right?
Yeah, I would think so. So that's something we'll revisit Sunday.
Yeah, keep an eye on that,
Yep.
and
Right.
make sure that it's obviously a teaser, but it's too obvious of a teaser.
Yeah.
That's why I think if we end up just going full money line, like if we end up doing like maybe 4 or 5 money lines on Sunday and just taking like some of these heavy favorites because it's late in the season,
Yeah.
we can
Yeah,
avoid heartache on the spread.
Let's revisit it Sunday morning.
Lions
Now,
at Bears.
Here's a game I'm excited for.
Oh my. Lions at Bears. Oh my. I don't know what to think of this game. The Lions defense, look at the last couple games of the Lions. They're giving up so many points. But the Bears look defeated.
Yeah.
But 6.5. Why don't you just tell me what you think, and then I'll give you the stats.
Yeah, this is one of my best bets. When I first looked at the line of the slate, this one jumped out at me. I'm taking Lions against the spread. That loss against Buffalo, or that game against Buffalo, that loss was something that I really think, even Campbell came out and said it, that it was good for them or that they needed it. I don't know that anyone ever needs a loss. But that being said, I think they're going to be different for it. And I think the Bears are going to get the brunt of that. I think this is where we start to see true playoff Lions come to life. They've already been great, and I think they kind of take the next step on Sunday. I'm taking them against the spread.
Every note kind of backs that up too. So
that's awesome. Love to hear that.
I mean, Caleb Williams is 0-4 straight up in his division this year. He has not beaten a team in the NFC North. Jared Goff is dominant in division games. So 15-6-1 against the spread versus the NFC North while with Detroit. And the Bears are feudal against winning teams. 0-6 straight up versus teams above 500 this season. 6-30 straight up in that spot since 2020.
Yeah, that is a good sample size.
Like, that's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you've got the fact that the Lions, after a loss, that they're typically really strong in that spot. So they win and cover often. In fact, they've done it 9 straight times following a loss, going back all the way to November of 2022.
Why do I feel so good about all the games?
That's scary, isn't it?
I was feeling great about the Bengals, and now I'm feeling great about the Lions as well. And this is your best bet?
Yeah, Lions, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Man, I might be on it. I don't know. I might be on it with you. I'm kind of worried that it's going to be a grungy NFC North game, though.
That's probably what Ellie would be speeding. So,
well, I already jumped on the steel train with you due to historical reasons. So I'm going to let you have the Lions yourself this week.
Sounds good.
Play alone.
What about the Commanders going down to Philly to see the Eagles, or up to Philly, I suppose, to see the Eagles?
What do you think?
This one's interesting. It's a good division. Yeah, right. And I've been so high on the Commanders all season, and they're getting 3.5 here. I don't know. I'm not going to bet it, but in terms of what I think's going to happen, I think I see the Commanders getting this one. Which I know is shocking.
Bet them.
Nice.
Already bet them.
Nice. Love that.
I was going to lose the 3.5, so I already bet it earlier this week.
Okay, nice. So is that one of your best bets then, I'm assuming, if you've already done it? Are you advising others to do it?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
It's just something I've done.
Yeah. No, I know that I'm seeing.
Hammer the number. Just hammer. Right? Just hit the number.
I see that a lot of the money's coming in on Philly, so it seems like you and I, although we kind of agree on Washington, are in the minority here.
Hey, what?
Correct. Yes, we are in the minority but at the same time, the 3.5. Okay, let's look at it. Eagles' success against Washington, not a great stat. 12-3 straight up in the last 15 meetings with Washington. 6-1 straight up in the last 7 trips to DC. Jaden Daniels' performance against strong teams, 1-3 straight up, 1-2-1 against the spread. First teams above 500. 8-1 straight up, 7-2 against the spread. First teams below 500. He's a rookie. It's a small sample size, but as a rookie, he beats up on bad teams. So the reason I bet it is solely based on a couple of people that I sometimes tail were betting it, and I felt bullied. So I took the 3.5, and
it seems like statistically we're definitely going against the grain here. It seems like if we were following the math, we should back the Eagles, but I don't feel good about it. I feel a lot better about the Commanders.
What did the Eagles do last week?
I don't know. What did the Eagles do last week?
I want to make sure I'm right. Yeah, they beat up the Steelers, right? They came into a game where everyone was backing the Steelers, and they won big. And they already beat the Commanders up bad. And how many games back are the Commanders? They're 3 back. So even winning this game, could they even overtake the Eagles?
I believe so, technically. Let's see here. Yes, the Eagles have not clinched the division.
So,
but this is they would if they win this game.
Yeah, if they win this game, it's done. And the Commanders would have to win out, and the Eagles would have to lose to the Cowboys and the Giants after losing to the Commanders. So I think it's safe to say the Eagles are going to win the division.
Right, and they have already punched their ticket for what it's worth, too. The Eagles could lose out. They're still going to the playoffs.
And the Commanders have, they have to take on, the Eagles this week, obviously, but the Falcons and the Cowboys. And I think we both agree that the Falcons, unfortunately, are the most challenging team there. I don't know, maybe the Cowboys?
This is the one chance Washington has to have any influence, any direct influence in terms of what Philadelphia is going to do down the stretch. So they're going to be giving it everything they've got.
Yeah. So I've bet Commanders, but I did it on just I'm not recommending it. It doesn't meet the Ian standard to give out, but do what you want. I did.
Yeah. Yep. There you go. Now, what about this exhilarating matchup? This is a game I've actually been to live more than once. The Arizona Cardinals at the Carolina Panthers. Yeah. I've seen this regular season. I've seen this playoffs. I'd go to this game. I'm not going this time, though.
Let's go Sunday. You want?
Are you coming down? Sure. Why not? If you come down, I'll buy it. They're like $17. I'm not kidding.
Yeah. If I come down for that, it would be really hard to do the live. The first live would just be you guys doing everything.
You can wake up at 5. You're used to it. Just hit the road.
I'll do it on my phone, and I'll just be driving the whole time on my phone.
Beautiful mountains in the background.
Yeah, definitely spotty reception. I won't even be there. We'll just put up a photo.
Hey, there'd be a good shot that that could be more entertaining than this game.
It really could be. Cardinals. I've got stats here. I just don't really. Kyler Murray struggles in competitive late season games. We've talked about it. November or later, he's 7-14 against the spread, 17-21 against the spread in games where Arizona is better.
This is the Panthers' last home game, and they have been feeling good the past month. I know last Sunday didn't go well.
But aren't they favored?
They're not. They're not.
Oh, really?
No. They have. They're giving. Or excuse me, they're getting 4.5.
Ooh.
Getting. It's plus 4.5. They're not favored, and I said, it's the last home game, and they really have been playing with extra energy lately. I mean, after Bryce Young came back, he's been different. Everyone sees it.
Bryce Young is 5-7-1 against the spread after an against the spread loss, and is now the least profitable Panthers quarterback against the spread in the last 20 years.
Man, poor timing for me to say how well he's been playing.
I was just like, yeah. I don't know. An awful loss? Yeah. Just I was going to say if they're a favorite, if the Panthers are a favorite, just fade them. They've lost 10 consecutive games against the spread as favorites, like last week, dating back to 2021. That's
it's not great.
3 full seasons.
They haven't earned
losing.
it. They haven't earned it. Don't do it until they earn it. I know I bet them last week, and let my money loss, be your lesson. I thought they could do it because they had been playing well for a month straight. But that's That's a bad team that has had figured a little bit of something out offensively, but it's still a bad team. At the end of the day, they're getting better, but don't bet them if they're favored. Let them earn that after not just 1 month of good play, but consistent winning that's convincing.
The Panthers are right now in line for the 3rd overall pick. So winning this game is more useless for them because we think that Canales is probably safe the way the team is played in the GM, because if Tepper fires everybody, he's going to look like a fool. And Arizona's drafting at like 16 right now.
I think honestly, like the feel good for the team, and I know this is like so against like all the business perspective and assets and everything, but like the feel good for the team right now, in my opinion, is more important than this draft pick. I'm serious, Ben.
What?
Like,
how?
They could go into this offseason with a big home win and where Bryce Young looks great.
Are you forgetting we're talking about the Panthers? They
Yeah.
haven't had a first-round pick since Bryce Young that gave up all these picks.
And they'll still have a top 5 even if they win this game. Like, I think they should.
No, the Raiders are going to lose if they leapfrog the Raiders. That's not going to be good. The Giants are in line for the 1st overall pick right now.
Yeah, I think they'll probably get it.
Giants, Pats, Panthers, Raiders, Jags, Titans, Browns. All of those teams are at 3 or 2 wins. So, like, you could be falling out of the top 10. New York's only at 4 wins. The Bears are at 4 wins.
They would need to win out.
You just said you don't think the Bears are going to win again. So if any of those other teams win, they're moving up, right?
And maybe. I'm not betting it. I'm not advising anyone to bet it. But
if the Panthers are smart, they'll lose this game. There's no reason to win. If they're smart, they will cover and lose by a field goal somehow, because like they need help. Bryce Young needs the biggest offensive lineman in the class, and a top 3 pick gets that. That's like Laramie Tunstall to the Dolphins. It's a career-changing, it's a trajectory for the team changing move to get a top pick like that in a good class. Which I don't know if this is actually, so we'll wait and see about that.
Anyway.
Tennessee Titans at the Indianapolis Colts. It sounds like a prison sentence, but it's a game actually on Sunday at 1.
I think this is what hell is. I think it's just a loop of Titans Colts matchups through the years that end, 6-3.
I don't remember the last time both teams were relevant enough to have a good matchup. Was it Steve McNair there?
I was gonna say McNair Manning,
that's when it was a classic. But nobody's gonna be singing any tales or songs about Phillip Rivers' time in Indianapolis. I'll tell you that.
You're right, yeah, and the Titans weren't really any good when Andrew Luck was during his run either. I mean, so you're right.
Best joke I saw on the internet was just in time for Christmas. Titans are starting Rudolph.
Love it.
Mason Rudolph replaces Will Levis as Tennessee's quarterback. Offenses led by Rudolph have scored 17 points or fewer in 4 of his last 5 starts. Titans have failed to cover the spread in 4 consecutive games with Rudolph. Among 64 quarterbacks with 100-plus plays over the last 2 years, Rudolph is 21st in EPA per play. Levis is 51st. Rudolph is 6th. CPOE. Levis is 30th. Completion percentage over expected.
Right. Yeah, excuse me. He had a couple of good games, a good stretch there in Pittsburgh, wasn't it?
Yeah, because Mike Tomlin keeps winning as a dog no matter who's there. Even if Mason Rudolph tries to kill you or he almost gets killed with a helmet. You remember that? Myles Garrett almost killed the
crazy.
Oh, clutch our pearls.
So I don't know. The Rudolph numbers are maybe a bit misleading in terms of speaking to the quality of a quarterback that he is. I think that might speak more to the Steelers at that time. Anyway, back to this game. The Colts in the AFC South are also perfect against the spread. This season, they've been underdogs in all 4 games, but they're perfect.
4-0 against the spread.
Yeah,
not winning the game, but 4-0 against the spread.
Yeah, and they've covered 3 straight times against Tennessee, dating back to the beginning of last year. So the Colts have kind of taken care of business in this spot.
But they're now 3.5-point favorites. Anthony Richardson's completion percentage this season is 47%. Only Tim Tebow and Akai Smith.
Akili Smith?
Is that who it is?
Did not expect to hear an Akili Smith reference today.
Gotta get that smudge off my board. Akili Smith. Yes, Akili Smith and Tim Tebow complete the fewer than 50% of passes with 250 plus attempts in a season since 2000. So, if he doesn't get those numbers up, not great. So I think the Colts are really good at covering as underdogs. My thoughts on division matchups. I'm staying away from this. I don't need any piece of this. There's no part of me that wants to bet the Titans. So I picked the Colts in my Pick'em League if anybody's looking for it, but let's move on.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Giants at Falcons. Ooh, another red and blue game.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the Cardinals Panthers. If you set up your red zone square the right way, you might get confused.
This is one I'm taking. This was one I looked ahead and identified pretty quickly that I want to take. It has everything to do with the Giants and the fact that they're terrible and don't need to be doing much in the way of winning. And the Falcons still very much do want to do that.
You're betting on the rookie.
Penix? Huh? Yep. The Giants are just in such disarray, man. So yeah, I like the Falcons here.
Over the last 40 years, no rookie quarterback in Week 10 or later has made their first career start as a favorite of 7+ points. The closest are Lamar Jackson in 2018, 6.5-point favorite. Jim Everett in 1986, 6.5-point favorite. Penix's first start, rookie struggles. Rookie quarterbacks in their first NFL start are 21, 43-1 straight up over the last decade. Quarterbacks making their first start in Week 16 or later are 5-15 straight up, including 2-5 straight up at home.
Yeah, and just to kind of harp on the Giants point I was making earlier, they've lost 9 straight games straight up, and they've gone 1-8 against the spread during that span. There's been one game in the past, more than 2 months that they have covered. And teams that have been playing that bad, that are on that bad of a losing streak, 9 in a row, with 1-8 against the spread or worse, typically don't win that next game. They're 4-7-1 against the spread. So the numbers are definitely pointing to the Giants falling short here.
Yeah, Giants are eyeing the number 1 overall pick, as we talked about. And the only reason I'm not on this with you, I agree. I think the Falcons will win this game. I'm easily picking the Falcons in a Pick'em League. Like I said, if we go several teams deep on a parlay, write this one down with the other two, the Bengals and the what was the other one?
I didn't have another one, and I've been taking pretty good notes.
No,
I guess not.
We already lost it. Oh well. Anyway, put the Falcons on there for that. But the Giants are a team I could see like. I don't know how done their coaching staff is. Like, I don't know how fried they are. And they might try to coach their way out of the number 1 pick just so they can keep their jobs, because getting a new quarterback does you no good if you have to leave and not work there.
Right.
So It's like the difference between the GM isn't coaching the game. So I think I'm just worried this might be a trap in the sense that the Giants always win 1 or 2 games out of nowhere they had no business being in, and they definitely didn't do it last week to help us out. They're off a big blowout. Rams at Jets. Let's talk about the Jets real quick. I need to talk to you about some stories I heard about the Jets because you'll love them. Oh, I took my notes. It was Bengals and Lions.
Okay.
Okay. So, have you read any of the stuff about Woody Johnson today?
Been hearing a little bit about it, yeah.
Woody, when the Jets traded Zach Wilson to the Broncos, Denver asked for the final pick of April's draft, 257th overall in the deal. Woody Johnson told Joe Douglas to trade number 256 instead. He wanted to pick the next Brock Purdy. Woody Johnson told the team to give away a better draft pick so he could have a shot at picking a starting quarterback last when he's not the GM.
Yeah, because he thinks somehow it'll make him look smart. Like, what?
Okay. Douglas told the Broncos that Johnson did not want to make the trade for Jerry Jeudy because Judy's player rating in Madden NFL, the popular video game, was not high enough. The Athletics' Zach Rosenblatt, Diana Rossini, and Mike Silver have been reporting on Woody Johnson nixing an offseason trade with Jerry Jeudy. These 2 stories alone should be enough for people to be like, this dude needs to sell the team.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And we know, like, it's Woody Johnson's not playing Madden, okay? Like, there's no way he's sitting around playing Madden going, like, nah, he's not good enough. Like, this is, he's got to get this information. Like, these are, like, teenagers or, like, 20-year-olds feeding information to, like, I don't know, man.
I disagree. I disagree that you say he's not playing Madden. He owns an NFL team. You don't,
He's a billionaire, man. He's got so many other things to do.
No, he doesn't. He was an ambassador for the Trump administration. That's the best the Jets have been since Rex Ryan was there because he was off in France, busy. Now he's got nothing to do. Apparently, he's got enough time to look up Jerry Jeudy's Madden NFL rating. Even if he didn't play it, he's aware of it enough to look at it and value it.
That's the
real decision.
And that's ridiculous. A business decision. That's absurd. Like, oh man, can't believe that. That was shocking to hear.
So I thought you would just enjoy the fact that the Jets are seemingly always going to be terrible because now you've got an owner who's grabbing a game controller for the trades the GM should be making. Oh wait, the GM was fired anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
And then the head coach is fired, and you got a quarterback who's going to have to go to a cave for 3 days in darkness this summer to figure out if he's coming back to play again.
It's just, and guess what? They're favored. Again.
But I like them.
Oh my God, you're insane.
I like them. There's one important stat. Matt Stafford does not like the cold. I'm not kidding. Matt Stafford, he's a warm weather kid. He went to Georgia. Then he played in a dome for the Lions. But every time the Lions had to go outside, Stafford has started 228 NFL games, but has never played in temperatures below 25 degrees. But he is 3-5-1 against the spread in freezing conditions, last playing in one in 2021. Aaron Rodgers is 8-0 against the spread against the Rams in his career. He's never lost to this team. Matt Stafford has been dominant this season, though. 10 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Oh, so it's tough, but the Rams just had it feels like a perfect spot for the Jets to come in and like maybe lose by a field goal. So that's why it's like if it's down to 3, don't bet it. But if the Jets get to 3.5-point dogs, I might take a bite of that.
I'm staying away, man. I'm not gonna bet against the Jets on the spot, but I certainly am not gonna bet on them. That's for sure.
Well, I always fade the Dolphins when it's cold, and it's been working great. Aaron Rodgers played in Green Bay for how many years? Matt Stafford clearly can't play in the cold. I'm sorry, but it's shaping up. Like, it's shaping up.
Yeah. No, I mean, you've got a good point. But also, the Jets, they're the Jets. They're just that's the state of affairs this season is awful. B, they're eliminated. Like, they don't have a lot to play for. The Rams, on the other hand, are tied for first in their division. So lots to play for. Potentially a home playoff game.
No, see, that's stupid.
No, it's not. No, it's not. You can't just dismiss that.
Teams love to play spoiler, and you know it. Why are you acting like every year your team's eliminated? You're telling me about how they're about to upset some big team in week 15 or 16. Do you not remember that?
Oh, yeah. No, I hear you. But the Jets aren't that team, man.
I've got a stat for this. I just can't find it right now.
Solid.
Well, we can move on. I guess I don't need to prove my point, but I'm just saying that.
Yeah.
I'm back in the Jets at 3.5 if it comes up, but it's not a best bet for me because right now it is not there. So let's move on.
Minnesota Vikings at Seattle Seahawks.
I've got another story for you.
All right, let's see it. Hear it.
Everybody thought the Vikings were going to be terrible, right?
Yeah.
Including me.
Uh-huh.
Well, one guy wants you to know that he went everywhere and said they would be great, and nobody remembers. Nick Swartzen, the comedian, wearing a Vikings jacket. He went on camera on Rich Eisen, on Pat McAfee, on ESPN, and he said he picked the Vikings to go 12-2. And and he tweeted about it, and he said, everybody keeps saying nobody picked them, and I went everywhere and did it.
That's crazy.
We're giving props to Nick Swartzen. Congratulations.
Well done. Yeah.
I hope you placed the money on. He seems like a guy who definitely gambles. Swartzen loves action. one stand-up special. You could tell you don't hang out with Adam Sandler that much. It's just not gamble at all. Uncut Gems lived out on the sidelines. So the Vikings, right? I picked the Vikings. This is one of my best bets.
Okay. All
Why
right.
not? The NFC North is better than like other divisions. And
That's true.
Here's
Yes.
Seattle again.
Yeah. Yeah, the Seahawks Underdogs 10th game in a row, if you can believe that. Dating all the way back to week 6. They weren't the last time they were favored, they played against the Giants. They're the first team in the wild card era that has done that's lost or been underdogs, 10 consecutive games, but still had a win percentage above 500. Like, it's a really weird niche that they're carving out for themselves this season.
Yes, but Geno Smith is 4-10-1 against the spread against teams allowing 20 points per game or less since 2022, failing to cover by 4.1 points per game. So I like the Vikings defense to keep it going. Geno Smith, let me do the NFC North dominance stat right. 65% versus every other division.
Yeah,
the
they're
North.
steamrolling.
30-10 straight up. I mean, so Geno Smith home versus road. At home, 3-5 straight up, 2-6 against the spread, 68.6% completion, right, etc. The completion goes up on the road to 71.5, and he goes up to 5-1 straight up, 4-1-1 against the spread. For some reason, he is not comfortable in Seattle. They just pay him, I guess. That's just his job. I don't know, but he is not comfortable there. Now the Vikings are coming off short rest, which would worry me a little bit, but because Darnold is not very good on short rest, but it's like we've done it all year. We think the Darnold stats are kind of just thrown out. Like, it looks like Vikings Darnold has figured things out.
Yeah, I agree. He's a different player there.
So I think that's going to be one of my best bets. Write that down, Vikings.
Yep, I got you.
That was an impulse bet too. I didn't plan that. It's just like I looked at it and I'm like, I picked the Packers against the Seahawks for very similar reasons, and I didn't even have to worry really about it.
Yeah.
I mean, now Geno Smith did get knocked out, but that's the thing. They didn't know he was going to start. He could still get knocked out, and he's not good against big, strong defenses. So
right.
That increases the likelihood.
Minnesota's defense is one of the better ones this season. So,
yeah. Flores.
Yep.
Flores said, "Remember me? Bill's gone to UNC. Remember me?" Let me ask you
Speaking
something
of Bill.
I just thought of. Yeah, let me ask you something I just thought of. Hold on. What if Flores went to work for Robert Kraft and the Patriots? Because all the bad blood with him happened when he was in Miami and where he left and everything like that. But I've heard a couple people talking like, even though they gave Mayo the job and he was getting a rookie quarterback and whatever, apparently Gerard Mayo has been stepping out a little bit at press conferences. You know, there's talk that maybe Kraft, who's always been kind of quick to make a decision if it's outside of Belichick, might decide, maybe this isn't exactly the way we want to go. So they might show Mayo the door. Do you bring in Flores, the guy that Bill Belichick, seemed to accidentally give the heads up that he was getting screwed out of a job?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of makes sense. I can see that.
After this defensive show. And Robert Kraft, who kind of has some ink on his face, so to speak, from certain massage parlors and things like that, could really look good, because it's like the Miami Dolphins were trying to collude and screw this guy out of a job and get Sean Payton here to play with Tom Brady and all this stuff. And, you know, we're just the great Patriots. We stick to our coaches. We gave this guy a job, you know?
Yeah, I can see it.
So
now, would he be able to help them in this incredibly difficult spot? The Patriots at the Bills this Sunday. They are 14-point underdogs, the Patriots. If you are crazy enough to bet the money line, they are plus 600.
I already bet it.
The money line?
No, I bet the Bills.
Oh, okay. I was like, why?
I already bet the Bills at minus 14 in case it goes up.
Yeah, which it probably will.
He hasn't done this all year, though, so it's not a best bet. I'm not giving it out. I'm sick. I'm sick in the head because I see all these Josh Allen stats. He's carrying my fantasy teams. I've got him on every fantasy team I've left in the playoffs.
He's going to win MVP.
He's going to win MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, if I win that one league again, are you kidding me? I've won 3 years in a row, Sean. Come on. If I win again.
Impressive.
Man, I hope you guys don't come find me with pitchforks and stuff. But, I mean, are you with me? You back in the Bills?
They're definitely winning this game, and I think they're going to win by more than 14. Yeah. I'm not betting it. I've got my best bets locked in at this point. But I don't know. Not a super exciting game because of the matchup being so bad.
Yeah. I mean, I would say Bills are a teaser idea, but we kind of did this. These double-digit games in division can sometimes get – but I just don't man, like, we haven't even gone over the stats. Okay. The Patriots are terrible on the road when trailing, and we know the Bills can score. They're the worst in the NFL at 3-27 straight up when trailing by 7+ points.
Mm-hmm.
Drake May has thrown 6 consecutive games of an interception of at least one. I should say that like a human. 1 interception in 6 straight games, tied for the 3rd longest by a rookie since 2000. Patriots are 9-32 straight up as underdogs since 2021. Drake May 2-7 straight up as an underdog in his short career.
Yeah,
so I bet the Bills.
Yeah, the writing's on the wall. I think there's really not a whole lot to talk about here.
It might end up being one of my best bets because I can't use the Broncos, can I?
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I'm going to wait. There's some. I mean, the only thing that's keeping me from making it a best bet, Josh Allen struggles as a heavy favorite. Like 3-0 straight up, but 0-3 against the spread as a double-digit favorite since 2023. And this is above 7.5. So, that's a key number. Anyways, let's go to a game you're loving to talk about. You can't wait. Chomping at the bit. San Francisco 49ers at the Dolphins. The San Francisco 49ers are also holding open tryouts for running back if you're available. If your knees will just hold up for like 3 games, so they'd love to have you because they've got like 4. I think they sent another one to another non-Christian McCaffrey went straight to the injured reserve today.
Yeah. It's crazy.
The 49ers are 6-8 straight up in games where McCaffrey gets fewer than 10 carries or doesn't play. But the Dolphins are 5-19 straight up versus teams above 500. Tua is 6-16 straight up, 9-12-1 against the spread in these matchups. So, does Tua bounce back, Sean?
I don't know, man. This team has me so disheartened. I think they're gonna play. Well, they're gonna give it everything they've got because it's their last chance. They skyrocket to an incredible 12% playoff chances with a win on Sunday. So if they lose, needless to say, that dream is over. Not that they'll make any noise really anyway. But I could see a big game. Yeah, I'm not betting it because I've been burned too many times this season on the Dolphins. So I'll watch, I'll hope, but I'm gonna keep my money in my pocket for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna touch it, but I'm just saying Dolphins are 2-5 against the spread at home this season. So
yeah,
great. Tua on a bounce back, 1-1 straight up, 0-2 against the spread.
Right. Season. So not great either.
So someone's gonna win that game.
They got to. Yeah. The fact that it's in Miami gives us a decent shot, I guess. Although we're not. Are
you saying you want to bet a tie? Is that what you're saying?
Nah, I can't do that.
Where's Ellie?
I'm not Ellie. Yeah.
Where are you? Where is he? Wait, I think I can find him. Hold on.
Hey.
Or wait, what was that, Elliot?
But that's what I love watching.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what I thought he said.
That's what I love watching.
Speaking of stuff we love watching, Ian, are you hyped for the Jaguars at the Raiders?
This is what they're showing in the other prison. This is the ladies' prison.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, Raiders have trailed by 10+ points in all 14 games this season. Raiders have lost 10 straight up, tied for 3rd longest in franchise history. Favorites shine in late season losing matchups. Favorites are 15-5 straight up, 13-7 against the spread since 1990.
Yeah.
So who's the favorite? The Jaguars.
By a point.
Somehow they're going to win, probably.
Yeah, and do you want to talk more about this?
We're done. That's it.
Okay. All right, we got
if you're in a pick'em league, take the Jaguars. Even if the Giants are dumb enough to win and lose the number 1 pick, the Raiders aren't capable. So actually, we should probably make it our best. Why aren't we just going to bet it? What are we doing? It's like we're not afraid of the Raiders winning.
Maybe we'll feel squirrely about it on Sunday morning.
Put that in the parlay list. It's a small. It can level out some of our heavy favorites.
Fair. All right, a game that is actually it could be interesting, at least on one side. The Buccaneers at the Cowboys.
Is it?
I think so. The Bucs are a very interesting team as far as I'm concerned. Still playing for that division, still playing for a home playoff game. Baker can make anyone look awesome. Like I do, I've been saying it all season. I love this team, man. I love this. Like the Lions and the Bucs, like in the NFC, are so much fun.
Saturday. Oh wait, now this is Sunday night.
This was on Sunday. No.
Had to change the song up. I don't know. Baker Mayfield. He's turned it around. Do you want to talk about Baker?
Yeah, I can always talk more about Baker. Sure. Yeah, like you said, he is turning it around. He's really trying to transform his betting record with the Bucs. He's 21-12 against the spread since he's joined them. Third best in the NFL behind your boy Bo Nix and Jared Goff. Between 18 and 2022, he was 29-41-1, which was the third worst. So he has quite literally flipped that upside down. He was third worst. Now he's third best. Sometimes all you need is a change of scenery. Kind of wish it could have been here in Carolina, but oh well.
You want to play a game called How Many of These Former Carolina Quarterbacks Look Great Somewhere Else?
No.
Yeah. Baker, Darnold. I feel like we saw all these guys look terrible when we went to see Panthers games, and now we're just like, oh.
It's only a matter of time until PJ Walker leads a team to the playoffs.
Oh, my God. No, it's not. That's impossible. That's impossible. Cooper Rush's sack impact. Played the majority of 7 games for Dallas this season. Cowboys are 3-4 straight up in those games. When he gets sacked more than 2 times, 0-2 straight up. Sacked fewer than 2 times, 3-2. So what is the health of the Cowboys offensive line? That's the real question for this game, right?
I guess so, yeah, because it is going to kind of come down to, well, it could come down to Cooper Rush. I don't know. That's still a slightly small sample size for me.
Todd Bowles against the spread is not very good after 2 straight wins. 8-12-2 against the spread overall. 3-6-1 against the spread as a favorite.
Yeah, I don't know. That's beating the Chargers was impressive, especially by 2 scores. The Raiders, like we just said, awful. But
I think the Cooper Rush Cowboys are too hard to predict, so I'm staying away from this per usual. Are you betting the Bucs?
No. I think I'm done with my money on this week. Outside of some potential parlays we put together on Sunday morning, I do think something worth noting is that Mike Evans is only 251 yards shy of another 1,000-yard season, which would be 11 in a row. And I'm sorry, I mispronounced his name. I forgive me. That's Hall of Famer Mike Evans. So. This dude, man, it's probably not going to happen on Sunday. It could. I'm pretty sure he's put up 250 before. He's at least gotten close, but probably not. But it's going to happen this season. He's going to do it again. And man, I just need to take a moment to give the guy his flowers. It's incredible. We're watching a historic wide receiver, and I feel like we're not talking about it enough.
Well, because Baker Mayfield may go down as possibly at least the second best Bucs quarterback ever, maybe first. I'm not sure. Tom Brady, Baker Mayfield, you're like, of course he did that. Then you're like, Jameis Winston for how many years?
Yeah. So just again, Mike Evans, Baker Mayfield, that team, love that team. If the Bucs and the Lions meet in the NFC playoffs, it's going to break my heart.
Saints at Packers. Unlike the Packers, but
the Christmas Eve game.
It's called Festivus. It's Festivus for the rest of us. But it's it's a 13-point favorite. The Saints screw us every time we doubt them. They literally lost only by a point. They ruined our week last week.
They did.
We teased the Commanders to 1.5, and they had to only win by 1. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like the teaser. If we tease this week, I might say we only tease teams up, and then any team that's like that, let's just take 4 or 5 for the group parlay so we don't get screwed again.
Yeah.
But anyway, the Packers, if for some reason that number, it wouldn't fit. Saints, 7.5 plus underdogs at home last week. Their largest Superdome spread since 1990.
This millennium.
Matt LaFleur. Coach teams in December, 19-3 straight up, 12-9-1 against the spread. 2 of his 3 losses came in night games on the road. So I don't know. They're on the road this time though.
And it will be night.
I'm definitely taking the I'm definitely gonna take the Packers in pick 'em, and
Yeah.
I'm not gonna mess with the spread or anything. If now this is a game that if the Saints somehow take a lead or something, and you can get a decent number on the Packers, I'm gonna be watching live to try to catch that. So
Yeah, and given that it's going to be the only game on Monday Night Football, it should be pretty easy to pay attention to.
okay, so let's go over our best bets.
Yeah.
This week.
So I've got personally Lions against the spread and Falcons against the spread. I had you down for Vikings against the spread. Was there another?
I don't want to take the Bills, but I've bet a lot more games than this. I just need to go ahead and commit to my best bet. I've waited
Right.
too long. I mean,
And of course, we got the All Sharks for Steelers against the spread.
yeah, I almost want to just piggyback half of your bets because I think we're just on the same page this week.
Yeah, I mean,
Elliot's not here to divide us. Is what
yeah,
I'm saying.
exactly.
He's been blamed. Look at all the Elliot got mentioned more in this podcast than when he's actually here.
I know.
Man, yeah, and I like the Lions too. So you have Steelers, Lions, Falcons.
Yep,
I'm
that's
gonna take Vikings, Lions, and then I back the Steelers with
The
you.
Steelers for the All Sharks. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Steelers is the All Shark, but for
Well,
my
so
pick,
does Lions then.
yeah, so two
That's
All
fine.
Sharks.
Yeah.
Two All Sharks, and I've only got one regular pick. That doesn't feel right.
I mean, there's no rules here.
Yeah.
And we're still coming back Sunday morning. Granted, I'm going to try to have a graphic out before then, but
yeah, hopefully. I mean, I already bet the Bills. I might as well just put that down. Bills.
All right.
I
Cool.
think they're going to be inclined to just beat the Patriots up. Maybe I'm walking into it. Vikings, Bills. The rich get richer in Week 16.
There we go. And then, of course, we're going to put together that Saturday teaser, which really there's not a whole lot to actually put together. It's just the two underdogs, tease them up, right?
Tease the two underdogs up. We're going to be taking the Steelers up, and we're going to be taking I forgot the game. The Texans up.
Yep.
Oh, my God. If the Chiefs screw us again. So I did my props to Action Network. They do a Wrapped at the end of the year, like Spotify. And
Right.
So I was looking at my most profitable teams according to them, and my most profitable team last year, Sean, was the Chiefs.
Yeah, well, Andy Reid, man, he makes people money. Even
Yeah.
if they're not good, Andy Reid makes people money.
That's what I've been telling you. It's like you can just when we tell you guys we do this, like I have an Action Network report to show it to you now. Like we know when to back the Chiefs and not to back the Chiefs, and we think the Texans getting almost 10 points is too juicy to ignore.
Yeah.
So just to give out that teaser in full, let me tell you what I've got. I've got the Texans at 9.5 and the Steelers at 12.5 because
Love that.
yeah,
Love that.
that's amazing. How are the Steelers going to lose that game? Of
What is
all
that?
games?
What is the payout there?
Well, it's a teaser, so minus 120 is
Okay.
the best line we can find. DK
Yep.
gives you that.
Yep.
Other
Okay.
books vary. Some books you got to be careful because you put in your teaser and it doesn't even give you the odds until after you bet it.
Yeah.
Which
I like that for minus 120 though. I mean, we're closing in on doubling up there. So
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and throw a half unit on it right now.
excellent.
All right, so the podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Sports betting carries financial risk, and it's important to gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, help is available. Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. You must be of legal gambling age in your jurisdiction, which is typically 21 or older.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to the podcast either, guys. 5-star reviews also help. Sharing it with your friends. If you like what you're hearing, we would love to, increase our reach. So that would only help us to continue delivering great content to you guys.
Live show Sunday morning, 10 a.m. before the games kick off. We'll recount Thursday night football, Saturday football. We'll get our group parlays together. You'll get
Be a fun time.
If we make any picks between then, you can follow us for more picks and updates on social media. I'm at Ian Price on the Action Network and Pickett, and at Hammered Ian on X. Sean, where can they find you?
Also on X at Sean Dizer. That's SeanDuiser. For everything else, though, like the podcast updates, anything else that we want to share with you, we've got the website, hammeredsharkproductions.com. It's going to be, it is the hub for everything we're doing. It's going to continue to grow. Right now, it's more of just kind of a welcome page with a couple of links there. You can still get to our Spotify or YouTube. It's got the essentials, but keep an eye on it. It's going to keep growing over time.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you Sunday morning, 10 a.m. for the live show. Hopefully we all can get just a lot more greener by then.
Have a good couple of nights, everybody.
Peace.